Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Marketing Corner, episode 53, where we're going to talk about something that is super, super timely. It only came out, 2 weeks ago?
Probably 2 weeks, a month ago or something.
At the time of recording.
At the time of recording, it's brand new, and when you will hear this, it will all still be quite new. Most people haven't tried it.
Assuming we get our act together.
Yes.
Yeah,
true.
So we're going to talk today a little bit about thought leader ads on LinkedIn.
Yes.
An exciting development and something I'm sure many marketers have been asking about. And Casper, of course, and SparkForce have had a chance to test this.
Yeah.
So tell the good people at home, first and foremost, what the hell it is. And then we'll talk about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. When I came into this to the pod studio today, I was like, Jen, we got to talk thought leader ads. It's like we got to talk about it. It's super cool. So it's like one of those things where like here as a marketeer, I'm spilling the beans of like the new shit that you should be doing that you're probably not doing. But in case you're not doing it, like here we are. Anyways, so thought leader ads. Essentially, it's just LinkedIn is now allowed that you can essentially, it's called boost, but like promote personal posts. Mm-hmm. So let's say in the case of SparkForce, we can pick a few of my posts and then we can promote these. Mm-hmm. The crazy part about this is that's the silver lining of it. It's not, there's nothing more fancy about this.
I will say though, I think in terms of how new and exciting this is just for people at home. Before you could only boost posts that came from your company.
Yes.
And now essentially what this change means is that if your CEO, CTO, whoever does a post on their personal profile,
you can boost that.
You can boost that with money, sponsor
Hence,
it.
calling it thought leadership, right?
Yes, and it's sponsored. So it's not just you relying on an organic reach. You are able to now target these posts from individuals as opposed to from your organization.
Exactly.
It's a really great new feature.
Exactly, it's super cool, and we've also seen some crazy results already. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the really interesting part, we'll get to requirements and we'll get to specifics around it soon. But I think like one of the reasons this is really working out so well, spoiler, is that it's actually really, really hard to see that it's a sponsored post because it's not very visible. Like if you look at the top, people like I get a lot of engagement from people who don't actually know it's a sponsored post we've done. So it's only visible in the top, just below your profile name and your like profile title. Mm-hmm. Just below that, it says promoted by SparkForce or your company, right? Mm-hmm. So it's actually like people don't know. And that's also why, and drum roll please, but that's why we're seeing some really crazy stats for it. So we've been testing it for like, I think we went live a week after this was out with the first test or something, a little bit slow, some would say. But either way, so we tested it, we've been testing it for, at this point in time, 2 or 3 weeks or something now. And what we're seeing is this, like, first of all, there's the click-through rate is insane. Like, so on average, we're averaging 30% click-through rate. Now, Jen and I, before we went on here, we actually discussed internally, we're not entirely sure what click-through rate represents in this case, because there's no, like, what do they actually click through to? Because the content I'm sharing, like we're sharing in the posts, there's no direct link. It's not like, hey, click the website, and then that's
that's part of the requirements, just to be clear.
Yes.
You're not allowed, as part of the requirements, you're not allowed to put links, videos, carousels, or anything. It is just text.
It's just text-based posts in the beginning. So no videos, no document ads. And when you pick objective, you're picking either brand awareness or engagement, right? Mm-hmm. You're not doing LinkedIn Audience Network is also not a thing you can do with it.
Which you shouldn't be doing
Which you shouldn't be doing anyway.
Don't do it.
Don't even consider it. If you're doing it, please reach out because you shouldn't be. And you also have to be employed like as an active role within the company to do it. Mm-hmm. Yada yada. But I think so. You can cheat, of course, the system with having a link in the comments. You can easily get around that which would be normal anyways. Yeah. Unfortunately, but what click-through rate represents, we're not entirely sure of, to be completely honest. But so maybe it's a bit of a vanity metric, but people keep, like, there's a lot of engagement. Like, so the posts I can see, I continuously get new comments and likes and interactions with it. I think that's super powerful. Yep. And most likely click-through rate in this case represents cases where, so we can pick up conversions, like, and we have a lot of soft conversions set up for our own LinkedIn account, right? So we pick those up. and there's a lot of conversions happening through this. So that part works, right? And then I think it also represents I can see more traffic to my own profile, and I can see more traffic to SparkForce's profile. So it's so the click-through rate in this case probably represents some sort of mixture of all those three. But exactly what it represents, I will figure out, and maybe in the future, next time we record, I will know.
We'll have an update. I think maybe to tie this into like a bigger conversation of the changes in the LinkedIn algorithm, which I don't know. Usually, when the algorithm changes, you hear a few things here and there, but actually, this is the first time that there's a lot of, it seems, a buzz and excitement about some of these changes. So I know, for example, our social media specialist, shout out to Maka, hey girl. She kind of briefed everyone as soon as the algorithm changes came out. For example, when we do a post, comment, because that is actually driving 6 times as much reach with a comment than you would say for a like.
I actually don't think that's been the case for quite some time. Actually, it's not actually. That's actually been the case for quite some time. The comments are just like the way forward. Likes have been like minuscule in performance for quite some time.
But with the new algorithm changes, you can be the first to comment on your own post now.
Yes. So there used to be like this sort of like hidden punishment where like if you were the first one to comment on your own post, you would get punished. Fortunately, that's removed. Yeah. That also meant that once in the past, when you had to share your link through in the comments, that was actually pretty bad because like, so what I would typically do in the past, and it doesn't, of course, don't have to do that anymore, but I would get my team members to post something, like comment something on my post, and then, yes, cool, now I would share my link.
Exactly, I would do the exact
super
same
weird,
thing.
but here we are. That's marketing for you 2023.
We do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would do the same thing. Like, okay, post is out, someone please comment, and then once they do, then you can put your link, and then you can do all of that. Yeah. Another change that I think is pretty interesting is the edit penalty.
Yes, so, it's also removed.
Yeah, that's also been removed. So usually what happened if you posted something and you realized you made a spelling mistake and you went in and edit it, you would actually be penalized in terms of reach for doing that. So that is actually, that was always so dumb to me. But
no, actually, like, for me, it's never, like, it's annoying. But I understand why it was there. Okay. So the reason it was there was because, imagine this. So you do a really cool post. It goes super viral. Like, and we're picking up steam hour by hour. Talk about AI or some of that shit. And then suddenly you change it to, I think this person sucks. I think misogyny is okay. And it keeps going viral because like it's always already got the traction, so trajectory, and now suddenly you're spreading really bad stuff, and you edited it at 30 minutes after, right? Yeah. That is what the original algorithm tried to prevent. So how they do that, how they prevent it moving forward, I actually don't know. So if you wanna,
be an asshole,
just post about AI and change it to something bad. But it's okay. But essentially, but that's the case. But I think the very new part about the algorithm is also that it's there's actually more room for ads in the feed in general. And it's like not to put on a silver tinfoil hat, as we say, right? Yeah. But it's funnily like thought leader ads were released almost exactly the same time when generally the new algorithm releases like this month were released, and people just saw a huge cliff drop in reach of organic posts, right? Is that correlated? Most likely, but it's not proven yet.
Well, what I also noticed, there was one day where, I think it was right after International Women's Day, that I guess LinkedIn did a spring cleaning because I dropped a shit ton of followers like that. And I thought, oh my God, do people not like the fact that I wished everyone a happy International Women's Day? What's wrong with my network? Ugh. But actually, then I saw other people posting about it, and apparently, like, there are some people who lost thousands and thousands of followers.
And it's so weird because I lost, if I maybe lost a few, but not noticeably.
I lost over 20 in one day. And that was like...
Okay, honestly, I wouldn't know if I lost
20. Hey, girl. Hey, well, I noticed because I was trying to keep track, and I was like, what have I done? It was literally right after I did my Happy International Women's Day post.
I thought it was like... I thought you lost 100 or something.
Mother's Day. Excuse me. Mother's Day. Yeah, okay. It was right after Mother's Day where I saw, like a huge drop in followers, and I was like, oh my God.
It's crazy called 20 followers a huge drop, though.
Well, considering I'm like aiming for like 2 or 3 a day, that would be nice.
Yeah, true.
But I'm not I'm not doing the promoting my agency the way that you are.
No, true.
So I'm not really trying. So it's kind of nice when I get a couple here and there.
It's not like thought leader ads is generating a bunch of followers though. It's smart to point that out. Like it's not like I haven't seen my followers spike because of this.
Okay, that's interesting because that would be one thing that I would expect to happen if someone is identified as a thought leader. You would want to follow them.
I think there's potential for that to happen though. I just want to point out maybe my posts, like the ones we've been testing, just aren't good enough. Like for honestly, I've never had a post go super viral, right? Like I had a post with 250,000 in reach is my highest number ever. I think you had one with like
400,000.
Yeah, you had some crazy good stuff.
But it was so random. If I do something that's like marketing tips, it's like, but when I'm like, Booking.com sucks.
Yeah, but that's because it's emotional, right?
It's an emotional post.
There's some emotion behind it. And the stuff we've been testing here are my best performing stuff for the last 6 months. But that doesn't make it my best performing stuff ever. It's just to keep it fresh, right?
Yeah.
For testing purposes as well. So let's see. I think if you do something where it's like, so we can't do carousels, right? But if you could potentially do carousels that already went viral, and then you use those for in the future when you perhaps can do that, then I think it could go crazy when it comes to followers.
Yeah.
But let's see. I haven't seen a huge increase in followers because of this, at least.
Okay.
This is not the...
Not that kind of thought leadership?
Not apparently not yet. Apparently not yet.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting concept, though. Like, we talked in episode 45 about thought leadership and how bringing thought leadership kind of adds, of course, followers. It adds social proof. It adds that kind of backing of what you're saying, what you're talking about. So it's just kind of interesting that a thought leadership ad isn't actually doing what a thought leadership post was intended to do before.
I don't know.
What I mean?
So here's the thing, right? So when we're recording this, we're in the middle of July. And my projections before July, now we're opening a can of worms here, but my projections before July was, as an agency, as SparkForce, that July would be dead, like completely dead, like there would be nothing happening whatsoever. We booked 6 meetings last week.
Okay.
Inbound, and I'm like,
in Denmark, which is pretty much shut down for
down.
Yeah.
All of them were, some of them were internationals, but they were based in Denmark. So, but still on Danish vacation schemes and stuff. Booked 6 meetings last week, and some of them were super high intent. And it's 2 weeks ago since we launched Thought Leader Ads.
Okay.
Can I prove that they're from there? One of them, I think I can. Okay. So that's already like, hey, if that closes, we're about to. But if that closes, ROI already like blew through the roof, right? But my point is, let's see. But I think this is super impactful. Like I don't think it's a coincidence that we booked 6 meetings the 1.5 week after we launched this.
Especially during what we would consider a dead time.
Especially because of that.
Yeah.
Especially because of that, right?
I think let's let it sit and let's see what happens. I think it is really exciting because that was a frustration of mine all the time, where we would have really great posts coming out that we thought were super interesting, that we'd love to target to people, and we can't. So we would, so the strategy was get more followers through organic means to get more clicks and engagements on our thought leadership and kind of spread the word of what we can do. Yeah. So the idea that we can now boost this with money and targeting and things like that is great.
And I think it's an important note also is that for our testing purposes, we started by just testing it in retargeting. So we're trying. So we have this like big framework set up with different layers of retargeting and stuff. So we use it in our different retargeting layers. So we haven't started. We're building up to it. Like it's not really building up to it. We're planning to do it. So very soon we're gonna try and do it on front of new people. But that's also like goes to say the people we are retargeting are probably the people who are already following me.
Yeah, the people who already know who you are.
But at least, and we get 30% engagement from these people because they I don't know if they love me or whatever. They definitely already feel like I got something to offer, right? When we do it like this way. So I think there's so much more potential to just put it in front of your audience when we start doing that.
Yeah.
We just haven't gotten around to do it, but that's definitely what the next test around thought leaders that we want to do.
I think also maybe something for you guys, your targeting is going to be probably a little bit more broad than say something like us, where we would target a very specific niche job title, for example.
Definitely.
Whereas you're kind of having to be a bit more broad in your targeting?
Ours is quite simple, actually. It's just like like if you want to be super basic, we have it narrowed down more. But if you want to be super basic, it's like okay, B2B marketing person, go. Like that's the simplified version of it. We can do better, but essentially. All those, if you're in marketing and you're work within B2B, then you're interesting to us to an extent.
Yeah. Whereas we're like embedded engineers and solutions architects in certain industries and certain locations. So it would be interesting to test that out. It's not something we're testing out now. But we definitely do a lot of thought leadership. As I said, we have a thought leadership process where we post things written by our founders pretty regularly. So to be able to boost that would be, I think, pretty exciting.
We're already building it. So we built this like a huge framework for how to do like all the different pillars we do at SparkForce and stuff. And I'm like, this is not a promotional thing for SparkForce, but it's just for ABM and for this. And now we're just taking thought leader ads and just implementing those into the frameworks. Because I feel like it has to be treated differently. So for instance, when you do, let's say you do ABM, then it's like, okay, so who are in front of the target audience you specifically selected? Let's say you want to close IKEA. Then we just say, okay, within the departments of IKEA, who is the person they would most likely connect with?
Right.
And then you use that person. And then when it's demand generation, it's a little bit more broad and saying like, okay, our personal, like our ICP in general, like we have to split that up specifically. But you can also, when it comes to IKEA, you could specifically design a post to say that talks about IKEA. Here's why I think IKEA needs a new demand generation strategy. Like,
that's
and you
awesome.
And so we're building those kind of things right now. And I think that once we release that, and we're working on it with a few clients, it's gonna be insane.
Yeah,
like I think it's gonna be super powerful.
Really good for ABM.
And also because like there's still like, I always say this, it's kind of like a joke, but welcome to the 1%, right? Like nobody's doing this. Yes, we here, and if you're listening to this, you're at the frontier of marketing, right? No one else is doing this. Like the big old agencies, they're not doing it.
Not yet.
Like, and not yet, right? They will be in half a year or something. But whenever these new formats come out, there's always a tendency to just like, they are crazy good in the first 2, 3, 6 months.
And then we ruin them.
And then we ruin them, or LinkedIn discovers, okay, that was a little bit too good.
Turn it down.
And then tweaks it.
I was just thinking when you mentioned ABM, like what would be even more impactful? Again, just totally thinking off the top of my head. So say you did like your IKEA thing. So you did a post about IKEA could use a new demand gen agency because of XYZ. Comes from you, Casper.
Yeah.
And then you call them or you reach out, and then they're like, okay, I know who you are. Like, because that's one of the things that you try to do also is get your CEO, your C-level.
And you can ensure that they've seen you.
And you know that they've seen you. So
it's not a cold that they've seen you.
Outreach.
This is one of the best hacks we ever did when I was at Templify, and something I try to do with customers. Not always possible, but it's like, is integrating what sales is working on specifically at that moment with what we do in marketing. So there was like, there used to be in Sales Navigator, once you had that, like if you had that, there used to be and I still think you actually have it. I haven't actually checked that part recently, but there's a thing where you like, if you do your Sales Navigator people, if you have a license with over 10 licenses, I think, then you can get your sales team, whenever they save a lead, it's automatically sent to your campaign manager, to your LinkedIn platform, and then you can send ads to that. So if you just have a campaign that's always running towards that list, and then your sales team continuously saves those leads and updates it, you will always, like 24 hours after a salesperson have saved the lead, you can guarantee that they will see an ad, or they will at least try to get put in front of an ad. That makes sure that you're completely aligned on who you're focusing. So what we would typically do would just be like, take our sales team, first of the month, hey guys, who are you working on? Then they would save all the leads they're working on this month, and then we would guarantee that these people would get leads or like ads in front of them within 24 hours.
And that's kind of a workaround, because we did, in previous roles, we did that through HubSpot with a dynamic audience.
You can do that.
But you need a certain amount.
There you need a certain amount. For this, you don't really need like 300 still, but like if you have a sales team, you easily get to 300 saved leads. So it's quite easy to get there. But it's just to say, that was some of the best performing stuff we've ever done. Yeah. Like ever. This was crazy good. And this has the potential to do the same in principle.
As long as you're organized.
As long as you're organized and you're a little bit methodical, as you say, right, about it. So I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome.
It's really powerful. And in general, like just also, like, you know, if you take a step back, I'm just excited about it from the sense that, I'm excited about seeing more personal content than company content.
Yes, but we talk about this all the time, that the algorithm is also optimized for individuals, and I think that's because that's how our brains work. When I see a SparkForce, of course, because it's yours, I'll read it. But if I see a logo, I'm like, bah. But if it's a person, I'm more likely to read it. So in a way, I hope we don't ruin that.
I hope we don't ruin that. And I of course, I'm not like, I'm really, it's also a fun thing because like I'm also worried about the day when you get to a point where it's like, hey, here's the CEO from XYZ company, the huge company, who says something that doesn't really say anything. Like those posts, I've already started seeing them, so that's the dark side of it. It's like, okay, here's my stance on feminism. Like, okay, cool, thanks. I needed your stance on it. Like, that's great, or whatever it is, stance on something, right? Where it's like doesn't really mean anything. It's a classic thought leadership, right?
Yeah, and then you have you put a chat GPT on top of that, and you're like, oh god, here we go with the wishy-washy generic.
And those companies have a huge budget. And suddenly they can really put it to good use. So that's the bad side. That's the only side I'm a little bit. But at this other side, like they would use the budget elsewhere, right? So it's better. I'd rather at least see XYZ stance on something trendy than seeing a company stance on something.
Yeah, I agree. I think having that personal touch is going to make it more interesting.
Because at least at this point, like you're not like, let's say you're the CEO of JP Morgan or something, like a huge bank, right? If you're doing a thought leader ad for the CEO, I can't even remember his name. Sorry, but
how dare you not know his name?
Know,
it's
really
John Morgan.
Yeah.
It's JP Morgan, right? It's his bank.
Yeah, no, that's not the CEO. That's used to be. He's like the JP Morgan. JP Morgan is from the 1800s or something.
No, his name's JP Morgan. No. That's his name. You can't work there unless that's your name.
Flynn or I don't know, whatever. But point is,
get in touch if you are the CEO of JP Morgan.
JP Morgan, just call me. I don't know your CEO name, but we're here. But. But
we're very tired.
This is so good. This is great. Like we're not cutting this. Just putting it straight. This is sticking.
JP Morgan, keep it.
Point being, he needs to approve it, right?
Yes.
Does he approve the daily social posts? No, probably doesn't. Yeah. Does he approve the ads? No, he doesn't even has no clue. But if it goes out from his person, I double dare you. Like he will need to approve it, right? That's good. I think that's interesting. I think that is interesting because that means he actually took a stance on what happened in his marketing, which probably doesn't happen all the other days. Maybe it does. Please correct me, JP Morgan. But I think that's interesting.
I think that's a good point to finally get marketing buy-in and see getting upper management to maybe appreciate the power of social media.
Yeah, and now you can literally go to your CEO and say, hey, what do you want to tell the world? We have $1 million here, and there's it says thought leader at JP Morgan CEO. Boom. What do you want to say? You can reach the entire world.
Yeah, and we can make it reach anyone you want.
Yes. What do you want to tell them?
Yeah.
I think that is an opportunity. So that makes me excited.
Yep.
Terrified but excited.
Yeah, I was
not AI terrified, but it's like don't abuse this. But it's gonna be
we'll abuse it. Marketers always do. So get on the bandwagon now before it's ruined.
Yeah.
And make the most of it.
Yeah,
until the next thing comes out.
Yeah.
All right. Exciting times. Any final thoughts of thought leadership ads, LinkedIn?
No, I think that's it. It's a jump on a bandwagon. Like you need a text post. Try to pick the ones you like. They're already performed. That's a good thing, right? Like so, I have I post a lot, right? So you do too. So I already have a catalog of things that seem to have been working. So use those. But yeah, I can actually let's do something fun while we still have last part here. So the best performing one I've done and thought leader ads respectively. And this is so thought leader ads towards retargeting audience, which is a pool of different things, right? But the best performing one is about where I talk about diversification in channels. So that's actually something I'm really adamant about. So that's good. I'm happy that's best performing.
Brand, yeah.
The second best is something about content production for company page. Second best, when I talk best, I'm talking clicks and click-through rate right now. Okay. That's what I'm looking at. And the worst performing thing is actually something that really I've become a little bit sad about. But you can use images. You can't use carousels, but you can actually use images. So I did an image about a pipeline creation, the nature of pipeline generation. And I thought it was I really
nailed it.
Put some heavy thinking into this one. And that's the worst one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the beast of the algorithm, though, because there's some stuff I'm like, this is awesome.
But this is not even the algorithm, right? I'm paying to promote this.
Oh,
And
yeah,
this
fair
is
enough,
the
yeah.
lowest engagement
Sorry.
rate. So it's not even like, I can't even blatant, post it on a Sunday
On a
evening.
Sunday, 9 in the evening, yeah.
I can't even do that. This is just like, apparently it's just the worst.
Okay.
But,
no one wants to hear it, Casper.
No.
Keep your pipeline to yourself.
No, but it's just like it's just like when the update in our pricing page, that's has 5 times the amount of clicks compared to that one. And I'm like, why would you people care about pricing page? But it's because I'm like, maybe it's because I'm sharing something personal too, but I don't know. But anyways.
But I remember that post was very personal of like,
Yeah.
for a long time we've been trying to do this and this and this, and I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
it makes sense to me why it's good, but I think the other one's really good too.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Maybe everyone just is dumb.
Yeah,
Some people who,
no, I love
I'm
my
kidding.
followers.
I'm kidding.
I love you guys.
Yep. Well, I just want to emphasize that losing 20 followers in a day is a big hit for lots of people.
It is a big deal.
In a day. In one day.
It doesn't happen to everyone. It is a big deal.
Day, 20 in one day. But then I gained like 65 in 2 days. So.
Oh, what up? Cool.
Because of the OKR. The OKR, we did an episode about it.
Yeah, that was pretty popular too.
Yeah, I put it on LinkedIn. It's one of our most popular episodes. And Sifted has been in touch, and they're going to write an article about it. Sifted magazine. So
Can we be in it dual? I can share why I don't like OKRs or?
yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, cool.
We'll put you're the K in OKR, even though it's with a C. But okay, so
On that note,
try
thought leader ads.
Thought leader ads.
Just get started. There's absolutely no, there's of course drawbacks, but just go.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
And I
Try
guess because it's
test it.
relatively new, the budget, you don't have to blow the budget.
We are spending peanuts right now.
Yeah,
And,
compared to like a lead gen ad.
Yeah, peanuts. Like we got, I think over the last 2 weeks, I've spent, how much have I spent? 1,000 kroners.
Ooh.
And I've gotten like pretty good results.
Yeah.
So get crazy. And,
Yeah.
And we're going to ramp it up. This was just a test, right? So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
right.
thank you so much.
You're
and
welcome.
if
Thanks,
you have
guys.
any insights on Thought Leader ads or where those clicks go to, get in touch.
I need to figure this out.
We got to figure that part
Yeah.
out. Cool. Well, thank you so much. See you next time.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.